This is the Chicago Golf Report podcast, hosted by Walter Liss. Today's guest is Ben Hutchison, Media Marketing Manager at Mistwood Golf Club.
Maybe it'd be great if you could give kind of an overview of what you do at Mistwood, because it certainly seems like there's a lot of things that you're involved with.
I try to be as busy as possible all the time, so there's no shortage of that happening. But a lot of people, it's funny because we have the golf course, we have the dome, we have the tavern, we have the sports bar at each property. So for me and my marketing job, I have one other person I work with, but I pretty much provide the content, the ideas, the creativity, the videos, write scripts, articles, whatever we need. So media marketing manager is kind of a little bit of everything, and a lot of it's spontaneous and day of, or if we see something happening or an opportunity, we jump in and do that. So I edit all the videos. So pretty much anything you see marketing wise, I have my hands on somehow.
You create a ton of content. So you created a lot of different videos. I saw you did a lot of videos with Andy Michelson at the PGA show. What is your background? Because it seems like you have a diverse background from what you've been involved with.
Yeah, I went to Northern Illinois University. I actually went there to do business and marketing. And then when I got there, I saw they had a TV station and I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. I think every guy wants to be on Sports Center if you like sports. So I actually did a lot of sports, television, broadcasting in college. And then I went on to become a sports anchor, sports reporter in Naperville at the local station, went to Rockford, eventually to Milwaukee. And I was a news anchor, news reporter as well. So I ended my career in 2018 after 10 years on television. And I just decided I need to do something more flexible, more family friendly, and found the job here at Mistwood and kind of fell into that and just went with the marketing side because I could tie that together using my experience because I would market myself. I would market the station I was at, and you had to carry yourself in a good way and you had to stay out of trouble. So it was a good combination coming here to Mistwood, and they were looking for someone that could, I don't think they really had a defined job at the point, but they knew video was going to be a big deal. So in my experience, I learned how to use a camera. By no means would I say I was a videographer or anything else, but like to think I have a good eye for things and I can be creative and I can move around and I could edit video. I kind of got better at doing that. And then everything now is on your phone. It seems like I do a lot with my more, fancy equipment, or at my drone, I pop out here and there, but so much is on your phone. You just got to keep moving at the pace of society and social media. So I had a good background with all the visuals, and it kind of works out well because my partner Rexy in marketing here, she handles more of the back end, the graphics, the brand design, all that stuff.
So if a person like yourself with your background, 10 years in media, and then you're looking for a different role, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better place to go to, at least in the golf business, in the Chicagoland area, than Mistwood, just because of all the reasons you talked about, all these different facilities and the fact that they're all fantastic, which is like high end. How did you find, did you interview with Jim McWethy? Is he the person who brought you there, or how'd you come across the opportunity?
I think I saw something on Indeed.com, back in 2018, but interviewed with General Manager Dan Bradley, and Andy was obviously out here, and Jim Cokless, our Director of Food and Beverage, and then obviously Rexy was here as well. So they had kind of built this amazing foundation, it's been building for 20 plus years. And then I got to meet Jim, and it was a good fit. So it was a nice opportunity to just kind of say, hey, let's come in, do some relatable marketing and things that make people laugh, maybe make them smile. I think day to day, we still see a lot of negativity, which is what I saw on television too. So I kind of wanted to escape that where I could. So I think you just got to look at the skills you have as a person. Background's important, but you can always get better at things. And my mentality as well, and how it has been, is make your own people a celebrity, a little local celebrity for what it is. So that's Andy on camera. That's Chef Dan in the restaurant. We all have personalities. You just got to bring it out.
Can you talk a little bit about the culture at Mistwood and the properties? Because if you look at the things that are what you would consider to be Mistwood, The golf course, fantastic, one of the top. You talk about the facilities, the practice facilities, you've got the golf dome, you've got the restaurants, these are all high-end things. It's not low level. And even talk about the people that have been there. Dan Phillips has been there forever. You've got Nicole Giray, arguably one of the greatest female golfers in the history of Illinois. Andy Michelson, one of the top players currently, is an instructor. It's like everybody's at the top of the food chain. Is that the culture that you see on a daily basis?
We love that word here. Culture is so important. And I think Jim McWethy and his legacy, he cemented that early on. And that's been kind of what everyone's kind of followed. And we do. I mean, our goals, our mission, our slogans, everything, it's, we believe in high quality products and services. We believe in having fun with people and sharing our excitement with others. And it's kind of, you look at business, you have to make money, obviously. Otherwise, things won't work out as business. But if you take care of those things and you take care of each other, it kind of just takes care of itself in the perfect formula, obviously. But it comes down to the day-to-day, the people buying in, everything like that. Dan Phillips, someone like that who has seen the bad days at Mistwood early on to the better days and the great days. So he's someone I can bounce off different ideas and still talk to now that he's a pro emeritus and he's around. I saw him the other day. He was at our golf meeting. So he's just someone that kind of can put things in perspective. He's come from a couple different generations of marketing and background to go with his golf experience. And yeah, I'm so lucky to work with the best people like Nicole and Andy and those that are willing to do videos with me and go with some crazy, probably silly ideas at times and jump in a cart and sing along and, do weird things. But again, that's our mission, is just to make people want to come here, be here. And if they recognize Nicole or Andy or Frank or anyone, then it's like, hey, I know who you are. I've seen you in the video. So we get that every now and then. And Andy will say he went to Indianapolis and someone came up to him, obviously with golf ties, and was like, I recognize you. So that's pretty cool.
So you're actually the fourth person from Mistwood that we've had on our podcast. We had Jim McWethy on, we had Dan Phillips a long time ago, we've had Nicole on a long time ago. Can you talk about the Party of Fore podcast that you guys produce?
Yeah, it's one of those things that we kind of joke that, man, it's hard to get in the studio, which is really just an office, and record it. But it was just another element of something we wanted to do as a property and as a way to reach out to people. Whether my whole thing is, look, we put out all this video, we put out all this content. If people don't like us, they don't have to watch it. But if people like us, they might take a couple minutes. They might take a half hour to listen to a podcast. So podcasting had kind of taken that hold of another way to reach out to people. So it was fun to do the Party of Fore. And anytime we're able to get video content, or like you mentioned the show earlier, I had a boatload of content that we came away with, talking with the different representatives and engineers and all the higher ups at Callaway and people like that. So it's a fun avenue for me to then have the equipment to record it, to splice in those interviews and sound bites. And, we put that together in a day or two. And it's just nice to get in there with Andy and talk golf, because again, my background, like, I love golf. I play golf, but I'm a very average golfer. And that's why I can just say I work in marketing. So I don't have to be good at golf, but I'm like a high 80s, 90 golfer. So I can go there and not totally embarrass myself, right? I'll hit a good shot and I'll hit some really, really bad shots. So for me to be able to nerd out and hear about golf or different aspects of it or the technology tidbits, that's fun for me. So the podcast is a good opportunity for that. And we do like to get guests on that can kind of provide that extra analysis.
So one of my favorite things about all the content you produce, this is the way I was introduced to you, is the Ben's in the Bunker videos. And Can you talk about how do you create all those ideas? Are you writing, is it, because you have a lot of times it seems like you have a script, like how much effort goes into creating all those videos?
I'll say that that's a lot of dad jokes. So Ben's in the Bunker was probably our first idea back in 2018. As we get into 2019, we're getting out there. The course is still orange and yellow. The grass is still dead from the winter, but it was, well, Ben superintendent, Ben marketing. All right, I have TV background. This is what I can bring. Let's set up a couple cameras, get a couple microphones, and make this work. So that's our dad joke time. And honestly, the scripting is a lot of it's a little bit surprising, but I like to keep my jokes to myself and he keeps his jokes to himself. So we get a little natural reaction in there as well. But I'm just writing that. Honestly, I have two little kids and I'm putting the kids to bed. And then, if I have some time, I'll just lay there and I'll start, looking up jokes or thinking of things to write or different content and a little bit of a production rundown on my phone, but nothing crazy. It's like the podcast, you just go and you're like, we have these topics. Let's see where it ends up. Oh, you made a funny joke that Orlando and Wisconsin Dells are the same to you, Andy, and he loves both places, so he relates those together. So some of it is natural. Now we do a fun little drink sponsor in it, and we'll just say, they don't know they're our sponsor. We just do it because why not? So there's some scripting involved in the Bends and the Bunkers, a blast. We did every hole so far that has a bunker. I think we got 23 or 24 different episodes in 3 years. So we're planning on getting back out there. It's one of the originals that we at least have our crowd that enjoys seeing us out there.
You mentioned a little bit earlier about sort of the playfulness that you're able to bring in the videos, which is unlike really anything that I see. I mean, as far as any kind of golf course in the area, there's not that playfulness that you're able to do. And humor's hard, right? Comedy is really hard to pull off on video, but you guys are able to do it. And at least for the Bends in the Bunker, to me, like the interplay between you and the other Ben, it's just really good. And part of it is I'm wondering how much are they scripting this, but it doesn't seem like they're scripting it, but there's always this level where you guys are laughing. And for the viewer, it became contagious. Like, I can't wait for the next video. I mean, that seems to be like congruent with throughout the whole organization, though. Is that safe to say?
I appreciate that. It's, I think, just really liking the people you're around and working with. It makes it a blast. There are lines sometimes with comedy, obviously, you're like, well, I can't cross that line, but I suggest something. I'm so lucky and fortunate. Everyone's like, what do you do in the winter? I'm like, well, we have our other properties, but like with whatever we're doing, they give me kind of the freedom to be creative and just have fun. I mean, obviously don't cross the lines, but there's really no limit on what we can do. If I need equipment, it's like, well, how can we support you? So how can we make things happen? But just being around each other, Ben, superintendent, he's awesome. He's hilarious. He's fun to be around. And the jokes are genuine. That's pretty much the only real scripted part is probably the jokes. So then we can tell the jokes, but the rest of it, he told a Hertz donut joke a couple years ago and we had donuts out there and he punched me and said Hertz donut. And like, I didn't know the joke. I was like, why would you do that? That was my genuine reaction. So it was fun.
One of the things that I always wonder about with a facility like Mistwood is the fact that you're set up perfectly for the daily fee golf, or you have even memberships. How many outings do you do? Are there a lot of golf outings that happen at Mistwood?
We typically do golf outings every Monday. So we more or less leave those open on Mondays. Again, it's a perfect balance of membership and public play and taking care of the golf course. That just golf courses have had so much play in the last couple of years, but we do reserve Mondays mostly for golf outings. And I'm pretty sure I was talking to one of our event salesperson last week and we're pretty much sold out. So Mondays are for that. And it's nice to get the groups out here. We have some nice charity events and things like that.
What else do you have planned, maybe on your schedule for the upcoming year? Anything interesting in terms of the content you're creating, or perhaps things that are going to happen at Mistwood?
It's funny because every year you have your review and you go in there, and I haven't had my review yet this year, but I feel like I have some ideas. I just brought a new drone. So I bought one of those more FPV drones with the goggles, and I'm going to give it a first flight, I think tonight. I'm going to do that over at the Dome after we close because I want to have as much space as possible, but that's more of an immersive opportunity to, hopefully fly in smaller places and, do more swooping and going around. And I'd love to do some more videos catered to, the tour, or just flying through the performance center, up under different things, and just showing a different view of the golf course and what we have here, because a lot of people have seen what we have and we're out on it a lot and show a lot of pictures and videos, but just be a new immersive way to do that. More comedy wise, I'll have to come up with a couple new segments, I think, but it's always good to get out there 3 or 4 times a year on the cart and get some guests. We had some people at the show trying to get on carpooling last week, and we're like, oh, it's a long line of reservations of people on that show, which probably isn't true, but they joke about it. So I can't say I really have any like main topics or ways to do it, but I think we'll try to create some more laughs as we go forward.
Since you have such a unique role and you've got all these, I guess, basic skills that you have to do, you're talking about flying the drone, you were doing the video editing, you got to create ideas and all that. How do you kind of stay up on top of your skills, and then how do you come up with new ideas?
I think I need to be more organized. I think my wife would say I need to be more organized just in general in life, but I do. I put out a task list every week, and we talk about what goals we want to reach that week here at the golf course, whether it's a pro to pro segment or just a pro tip or what's in the bag. Or so we kind of make a list of the different videos and pictures, because then I got the restaurant saying, hey, we got chocolate covered strawberries to get ready for Valentine's Day. So it's like, all right, move off of golf. It's kind of like Stretch Armstrong. I'd say some days you're being pulled one way or the other, but it's all fun stuff. It's all great stuff. I look forward to it. I like the spontaneous approach to marketing and what we do. We had good friends at Callaway and Harry Arnett a couple of years ago. He was in charge of everything. He's since moved on to an athleisure company, but they just said, do spontaneous things. If it doesn't work, try again the next day. So we've kind of adopted that as far as marketing and the way we go forward on things. So yeah, it's just staying on top of a task list and making sure it can all work.
So you've got the golf dome. You also recently added a simulator in there. What was the idea behind adding that?
Andy he's always looking for something. You know, we were the first dome with Top Tracer back at the end of 2018, and the simulator market has truly taken over for, you know, to some degree, and you see all the different locations and the different companies having simulators. So we have the dome, and we kind of maxed out space on the dome itself. And so we're like, all right, let's add a couple simulators. We had the old OTB space in there. It was just an outdoor patio. And so we finished those out, put a simulator on each side of that. So we got two there, and then we just added one in the dome. I think the plan might be to add more in the dome, but you could get the dome experience and see the 80, 90 yards of ball flight, or you can do the simulator experience in one of our suites. And it's got a TV and couches and everything. It's just a nice setup. And we think it's competitively priced, right around $50 for an hour.
So let's finish up then with maybe a question about the future of golf. From what you saw at the PGA show, are there any things that kind of like blew your mind? Any things that going on with golf that you're looking forward to? Perhaps it could relate to Mistwood. Perhaps it could be something that's outside of Mistwood that you're thinking, wow, that could be a game changer.
It's interesting looking from a marketing perspective, because things that might be hot on the golf market are, well, we got to get those and we got to get that out there. I think it's always exciting to see the new equipment, because then that, as a marketer, that gives me the opportunity to bring all these things in, try them out. We might do a smash factor type video, break a TV in the dome or something like we've done a couple of times in the past. That was always a fun video. So just as golf as a whole, though, you see all the technology kind of taking over, and as much as clubs might seem like they're the same or have the same technology, there's always that one little thing. It was cool seeing the self-driving range pickers and things like that there. I mean, I don't know if that's something we'd ever be interested in out here with the different things on the range, but it's just cool to see what's happening. There's a lot of good minds in the game of golf and people doing good things. So from a marketing perspective, I know it's just sounds predictable, but content is king. And you see these companies now hiring golf influencers and people like that. So as long as I think we can keep putting out creative video and not focusing on one person, we're absolutely not a one person influencer, if you will. Like, we're a whole family here. We share the excitement and we work together to create a bigger product. And whether it's the golf course or the restaurants or the dome, some overlap, but it's fun to kind of bring all this together and just create more and more videos and content to hopefully saturate the market a little bit with Mistwood.